Oh, Bunny ruined it. You dumb cat. Oh, you're the dumbest cat. Oh my god. I want to hear this cool music, Bunny. I want to hear this cool music. Here you come. Meow. Alright, I'll give you a little scritch. I'll give you some scritches. I don't know if I should actually do that. Because I feel like whenever I give you a scritch, I'm actually encouraging this meowing even worse. I just want people to hear the cool medieval troubadour playing, strumming his lute, and the people being thrilled about it. Oh, okay, get off the thing. No scratching. Get out of here. Go. Or fine, you can stay there. Stop meowing. Alright, everybody. Jesus. Quite the opening, huh? Quite the opening. So this is going medieval. Hold on. This is going medieval. I saw a couple of other Let's Players start doing this, and it's something I've been waiting for a pretty long time. It's not exactly what I've wanted to play, but it's very close, right? Make sure I'm actually recording. I am. Okay, cool. So I've wanted a medieval Rim world for a very long time. Now, I personally, I would rather it be a fantasy one, and this is not. This is a historical one. But it's a very cool time period. It's 13th century England. The Black Death has just swept across the land and decimated the population. And so you have to rebuild society in like those times. Basically, these guys, they have seen like literally 90% of humanity get wiped out by a horrific disease. And so like these are, you know, they have some issues after that, right? These guys are going to be half deranged. At the time, literally a lot of people thought, there's a great book about it, right? Called In the Wake of the Plague. It's all about the effects of, let's see, we're going to do normal for our start and standard. Yes. A New Life. So this is just like RimWorld, but medieval times. There's some differences. It's full 3D, so you can actually like build basements and big towers and stuff. But it's like a colony management sim. It's very similar to like Prison Architect, RimWorld. Those are the two main ones. The Dwarf Fortress, yeah, I'd say Dwarf Fortress falls under that too. But yeah. So basically, like, you know, we or a little bit like Banished, maybe too, but more, you care more about each individual settler than you do in like a base building game like Banished. Anyway, so yeah, A New Life. Each settler has a story about the past they left far behind, but now this tattered group has a common goal to build a new home together. Recommend scenario for first-time players. All right, starting season is spring. We get a whole bunch of simple things to start out with. Age range 25 to 55, height, men, women, blah blah blah. All right, so let's go. Now I've been wondering, like, do we want to do like a proper mountain and like dig into a mountain, build a big fortress? Do you want to do hillside that's kind of in between the two, or do we want to do like a low land, very flat land thing? I'm kind of thinking, inch, or I think it'd be inch actually. It's been a while since I did actually study Middle English. That's another reason I'm excited about this. I did study this time period quite a bit when I got my degree in linguistics. And so, like, I hope I don't, it's been like over a decade though since that happened. I've probably completely forgotten how the vowel shifts worked. So basically, English has shifted vowels, and it's shifted it depending on the dialect multiple times. Like British English has done 2 vowel shifts since the 1300s, whereas American English has only done 1. So in a way, American English is closer to Shakespearean English than modern British English is, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so vowel shifts, it's like A-E-I-O-U, right? So if you want to shift it back, you'll go like I to E. So I think this would be more like an ench, I think. And again, if I butcher it, I butcher it. It's been over a decade since I was really like learned with Middle English. So, and this is like, yeah, it would be Middle English time period, 1300s. That's after William the Conqueror has started to influence language, introduced a bit of French words to the English language because William of Normandy was French. Well, technically Norman, but anyway, let's just get going. Let's see. Do we want fertile soil, lots of clay? Not much metals. I don't know if trade actually exists in this. So this is like lots of metals. I'm gonna do hillside for my first playthrough. It's a fair amount of everything, right? So we'll probably, if we really like the game, maybe we'll do a mountain run at some point, maybe a forest village down the valley. I don't know. Let's randomize until we get like a good hillside name. So Ham, I believe means hamlet, or might mean salt, like a salt flat. I don't exactly remember. No, witch. If you see like witch, W-I-C-H, in a name, I believe that means that there was a salt source near the village. Because that basically is an old English word for, it might have even been a Celtic word for salt like salt flat. And so if you see witch, and you see a lot of witches, W-I-C-H, in names, that means, oh, this is a place like Norwich means northern salt flat, for example. So it's just like, it's an interesting little thing. But let's see, Ham, I think Ham means like home. Like Hamlet means like small manor house. I'm pretty sure Ham means house. And like it's an not an sound because the vowel shift. So basically, vowel shifts just naturally happen in language over time. Here's a classic example. So in American English we say glacier, whereas in British English it's glacier, because the sound has shifted, and so because the is higher pitched, like in gla instead of glay, because of that shift, the other letters need to also shift up higher. So it's like an American I is said more like, let's see, A-E-I, like more like an O sound, I want to say, like glacier versus glacier. I'm not sure, but you know, it's complicated, and it's tough for me to explain it because I'm so out of practice. Like basically, I majored in English my first time around. I was mostly focused on creative writing, but we had to take a specialization, and I was kind of obsessed with Chaucer. And so like I ended up, my specialization ended up being old, middle to early modern English with a focus on the linguistic development of the language. So I did like a lot of Beowulf, a lot of very old English, learned some old German too, but I've forgotten like 90% of it. So it's weird to like try to talk with authority about it. Now Carrick, that means church. Carrick. So this is like church. I don't know what called refers to, or caldi. But the first part, kirk, means church. So that's an interesting. I'm not sure about botch. I don't remember. Sorry. Or etch. I'm sure that the och and the etch are a suffix of some kind. I just don't quite remember. Littleworth. I kind of like that name. We might go with that. Little Earth. It's a place of little worth. Just like, Little Worth on a hill. I like it. Let's go with Little Worth. That's fun. Okay, and so, yeah, we'll just hit the random seed thing for a little bit. I don't think it actually matters. Wait, it did matter because now I'm down in the valley instead of the hillside. Interesting. I guess we just like... Ooh, I like this map. It's like big foresty area. Maybe we do a valley run. Just because it's fun that it's like tucked in into this like big forest. I'll keep hitting that button a little bit longer. I like this one too, how it's down in like a crater. Almost looks volcanic. Oh god, I'm like addicted to map seeds. Like I could spend hours just going through this. How about this? It's a hillside, but I like this like almost a mountain pass. That's kind of cool, right? Like we could be like, we control the pass at Littleworth. It's out of the way, but you gotta go through it anyway. Like something like that. I don't know. Sure. And now this one is important. Hold on, let me get my notes. My notes. Where are my notes? I wrote this all down. All right. So I actually watched a top tips and tricks for starting your Go Medieval game, because I'm a nerd like that. And so like starting skills. This is very important, right? We need high construction, botany, medicine, and at least one with over 10 plus marksmanship. So let's see. This guy's got pretty high botany. I kind of like this guy. Like he's got a real passion for marksmanship. The reason you want over 10 marksmanship is you become... Whoa, his tail range is crazy too. Maybe we keep this guy. He might end up being like a ranger. Like he could go out in the wild and gather... Oh, hunting animals needs animal handling though, so that won't work. Okay. That's a shame. Let's randomize him. So what we want is... Like, passions matter more than high skill, but marksmanship being above 10 plus is nice. What are you all about? You're at 10 and you have a passion for it. Perfect. And pretty high animal handling. I think this might end up being our ranger. What are you? Iron Stomach can eat like anything. Infirm. That sucks, doesn't it? Because hunters are going to get smashed all the time. So maybe we don't go with this character. Outgoing. I like... what is this instrument? This isn't a lute. This is a... Oh, God. It's a forerunner for, like, the banjo. But yeah, like, we want... The 10 plus marksman means that they can use... the longbow that you start with. So that's why it matters. What is this? Winsome. Everyone loved Jacob, the shy and bold knights. He was beautiful to behold. Is it because of his age? Listless is mope. That wet, hot-blooded, congenial. You're too crazy. Zero, but with a small passion for it. You're hired. No. Oh god, I could like, and I do love the art in this game too. Like, Lord of Misrule, tricks and buffoonery were a midsummer indulgence, a midwinter, but Harry liked to play jokes all year round. Oh, what a dick! What an asshole. What is this? Wheat shit. I don't know what that word is. It's highly attuned to that he listens closely to the feral whispers of plants and animals. Nah. So, like, okay, the first one I'm trying to figure out, I want someone with like high animal handling and good marksmanship. Just those two things. So they can be our um, ranger, hunter, longbow user. Preferably, they would have. Oh, my nose. See, I pet the cat, and now my nose is starting to itch. But preferably, they would have at least some kind of passion for marksman and animal handler, um, and not be like a weakling in other aspects because they're going to have to like hunt a lot, which means they're going to be fighting a lot. So I don't want them to have like brittle bone disease or something crazy like that. Oh, so cellularly is not good either if they're gonna be a hunter, because they'll have to like, as a hunter, they're going to have to very high passion but very low. Oh, it's bot. Okay. Another bonus would be if they were good at botany too. Animal handling, not a good marksman. Dang it. Well, dang nabbit. I have some trouble with these random generation stuff. Like, I do like, it's, this works. Passion for both. Let's see. Callous. Unmoved by human mortality. Flesh is a mere commodity once the soul has fled. I am not sure what that means. It almost sounds like he's a cannibal. Swigger. It's thirsty work. Likes to drink and makes him work faster. Perfect. Gerard, you're amazing. And he's got plus movement. Oh, this guy he's got everything I want in a ranger. Very fast. He's passionate for animal handling, botany, and marksmanship. And he comes with bonus construction, which is another thing we need pretty good skill with early on. Amazing. amazing character. If we hit this randomize, is it going to randomize his name? Gerard is fine. Gerard Ross, I'm keeping him. Okay. We can test on this one. Okay. No, it changes their Millicent. Millicent? This is where Miley, the modern Miley comes from, I believe. So, all right, we've got Gerard is good at everything pretty much, but we also need someone good at medicine and maybe a good botanist or construction worker. What is the difference between crafting wooden items? Okay, so construction is separate. Yeah, let's look for someone with medical and maybe some botany as well. So I'm just looking at passion for medicine, decent intellect, redolent, huh? Benevolent, a ray of hope in an otherwise bleak existence. He makes everyone feel, what a nice dude. And he likes the finer things with little things like dirt, cold, and hardship. Well, that's fine because you can do tailor, medicine. I don't like you're going to be our researcher, I guess. Researcher, medicine guy, and you can maybe do tailoring too. Erudite. Yeah, he's got like a rare intellect and he levels up fast. He's a researcher. Redwin, and he looks the part too. He's like an old wizard-looking guy. So we got young hotness and the old but reliable. And then now let's get a lady who is like good at, I don't know, construction maybe. Yeah, let's look for someone with a passion for construction. And I guess it doesn't have to be a lady. It'd be kind of nice, like, to have a village that with some gender representation. Jesus, look at this artwork here. That's amazing. So gory. Aranak comes into his own in a fight, roused by prospect of violent slaughter. I don't want this guy in my village. Well, she's got a minor passion for it. She'll eat anything. And as brawny, that's, wow, I think that's pretty good. She could be like our Smith, maybe. She's got The only issue I see is she's got like not much in the way of skills otherwise. And our construction's looking pretty bad for the whole group. I need someone a little better. Now we're talking. Look at this guy, Cameron. 40 winks for the briefest of catnaps. Okay, so faster sleeper. Wash out. Getting wet makes me as miserable as... Okay, that's interesting. Was good at speechcraft. Good at bargaining. Now, I saw that stewardship had been a skill, but it looks like they got rid of it. Maybe they got rid of it. They probably replaced it with speechcraft because it made more sense. Turn enemies into allies. So he could be our negotiator type. He definitely comes like with a full package in terms of carpentry and construction. But it does mean we're just like 3 dudes in the woods. It'd be kind of nice if Gerard had like a younger lady, you know. Redwin's old, so Redwin's probably past that point in his life. Religious alignment, he's a devout restitutionist. Oh, and he's a crazy old pagan. And he's a crazy old pagan. I wonder if he can convert people over time. I don't know how the religious alignment thing really works. I mean, he's decent, but I mean, he's good. Like, straight up, he's gonna be good at construction stuff, but I don't know. I do feel like the problem is this feels less balanced than I would like, both in terms of gender and in terms of like we have no. It's someone who's passionate about it, I guess. Like, but some of our skills are really weak. Like mining sucks. I also feel like, yeah, he's good, great at medicine. I guess they're fine. Oh, I'm so tempted to hit the randomize button again. Should we roll the dice? Let's roll the dice. Okay, this is less Yisme, huh? What she got? Ill-favored, was born with a boss eye, which made it difficult to know where to look when speaking to her. I think boss as in embossed, as in her eye is like caved in or something. A Sunseeker comes alive when the sun is shining. A few golden rays is all it takes to bring out the best in her. Wow. Oak Breathen Zealot. We would end up being like a weird pagan place. Like everyone in this weird town loves the forest. I'm not sure. I kind of want a balance of that. Oh. Oops, I didn't mean to. Wow, our intellectual skill is super high, but I need construction skill. She's got vulnerable. Wound regeneration is stinky. Really can't hold her drink. Oh, even a tiny tipple will make her doze off. Oh, that's terrible. Also, she's so old. Like, we need young people to repopulate the village with, right? Is she a dwarf or something? Like, she looks really small. I guess height just varies. Oh, she's an amazing cook, though. All right, we need high construction. I don't know. I'm not even like sure like we need to like spend this much time picking out our starter 3. It's just kind of fun. It's kind of fun to click the button. Um, Come on. Someone who isn't like 100 years old. 36. That she might as well. Thrifty gravedigger is her background. Dug the graves at Keld churchyard on the bloody field of Crecy. That she did her finest work to crack French skulls in a ditch hewn with the very same pickaxe gave endless satisfaction. Oh, awesome! So she was in the 100 Years War. The Lamb of Keld. Oh, I didn't realize. We gotta read like. Oh, he's just Patient Knight. He doesn't have any kind of cool nickname. Okay, so he's like a knight guy. What are you? Savage recruit. Wow, this guy was kind of intense. After the apocalypse, like literally, probably the closest thing that could have come to the apocalypse was the Black Death. Like, basically, out of every 100 people, 90 died in some places. So, you know, one person out of 10, which is just like survived. And you gotta imagine, just they were like, no one, like, churches just filled up with dead bodies, and then they abandoned the church. You know, there was really nothing that they could do to stop it. Oh, Gerard had seen Beelzebub, and there was no redemption. He could make shelter and fire and dream of blood and screams. Gerard could not say if he had eaten human flesh. Holy shit, Gerard, you're a maniac. I didn't realize this. Like, no wonder he went full on pagan. He's just like, oh, breath and yeah, I'm trying to get a balance, like, because I'm thinking I'll do a full Restitutionist run at some point and a full Oak Breathen run, but I feel like Restitutionist fits like a mountain start. Oh god, it's I should just jump into something, right? They're all Oak Breathen though. She kind of stinks at her job. Come on. Double passing instruction and also a high skill if possible. Yeah, that's decent. The paramour of Snittelgarth. Ugly as a child. Let's see. Leah. I think her name would be Leah. Would never slight a lady for her looks. And in the wake of Armageddon, the value of good looks as currency was somewhat diminished. Leah helped keep spirits and skirts high, gaining a reputation as a satisfying lover. Wow. A Yorkist courtesan. Leah, it might be Willuia, or it might be Leah. I don't know. I think that the W and the L kind of like work together as one consonant in this case. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it is Leah. Speaks softly and low with a gentle laugh as pleasing as birdsong. Okay. Austere. Very little appetite. Going for days without food with no ill effect, huh? Consumption duration. Oh, so when she does eat, it doesn't last this long or something? I don't know what that means. Mood target plus mood change speed. And she could fight a little bit in melee. Well, she's good at construction. Has a mighty intellect. I don't know. Honestly, I'm sure people are angry, like, just start the damn start. This is always my problem in these kind of colony builders, though. Alright, Hankin. He's a cannibal. Forget it. Let's see. Wenju. Wenjui? Oh god, there's like a weird. The GEWE is like Gui, I think. So it's a Wengui, I want to say. So Wengui, she's dainty, needs the finer things in life. She struggles to cope with things like dirt, cold, and hardship. They're all oak breath, and oh well. I didn't want to do like a weird forest cult. Like even scorching can take the heat. Loves working in the sun. She's got good construction, good botany. Okay, so I think when we Redwin Gerard are dudes. Let's do this. We gotta start. Standard of New Life, Hillside. Do we? If I go back, will it keep? Oh, it just changed all of them. Are you kidding me? Damn it. Oh, God. I was just thinking, what if we did a forest run instead of... I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a cut here, because I'm not going to make you go through that all over again. That sucks. That really sucks. But I'll put a cut here, and then we'll jump back in when I've picked out my characters. Sorry for that. That kind of a disaster. Anyway, we'll be back in a few, alright? Bye. Alright, everybody. We're back. It took me quite some time to get starting Embark that I liked, but yeah, so I've changed up a couple of ideas. Let's go over them, right? So I decided I want to do like a forest village, isolated in the mountains, and they've gone total pagan, right? So I picked like a weird witchy cat with a moon for their symbol. Hexham is the name of the actual village. So it's full of all like oak brethren, basically. So we got let's see, January, I think, January Hook. Anyway, this is like our village wise woman. She's really good at botany and medicine. Well, she's got a passion for medicine, but maybe she's not amazing in it yet. So look at her perks though, right? Green thumb, outdoors, industrious. That's like outrageous, like for a botanist. She's gonna be so good at farming and just going out in the woods, get her like weird mushrooms and stuff. So yeah, Jenny is doing really well. Henrik Riescher is also pretty amazing. I mean, he's got problems though. He looks disgusting. I mean, he has no eyes or nose or mouth or anything. Totally disfigured face. Like a smooth blank canvas. Chills people to the bone when they see it. But so he has a disgusting face, and I guess he likes to eat a lot, but he's really good at being outdoors and in cold. He's cold resistant. But look at all the stats, right? Pretty high skill marksmanship. Not the 10 plus I was hoping to find, but with his passion for it, he'll get there pretty quickly. He's got carpentry as well, so that'll make him better at making his own weapons, which is pretty nice, right? I mean, everyone needs like to be able to make their own weaponry. And then the last thing is he's got a little bit of animal handling, and apparently that does help with hunting. So he's got passions for all the things you need to be a really good hunter. And I figure if we're living in the woods, we need a good ranger. So that sounds great to me. And then we got Wiggulf. Wiggulf is, well, he's kind of a tragic figure. You know, he spent all of his life working really hard. Started out as basically, so Franklin, I believe, I didn't actually look it up. I'm sorry, I should have. But I believe a Franklin is someone who runs a plow. Let me check, though. Let's see. So I got my phone, and we got the magic of the internet. So, Franklin. Look up Franklin in Wiktionary. From Middle English, Franklin. A freeholder. Okay, that makes sense. So he's a freeholder. freeholders basically were pretty wealthy. So the idea is in medieval times you could be a freeholder, which is someone who owns their own land, owns their own farm. That's a big deal, right? You have to get permission from your lord to be a freeholder. And generally speaking, it's because of a long, hard lifetime of service that you proved yourself a hard worker. And your noble liege would come in and say, hey, I see that you're out there in the rain plowing. Like, you got that giant rock out of the field. You cut down all those trees to clear some land. And I feel like that land now belongs to you. You are free of your main obligations to me. So instead of paying in labor, you can now pay in taxes for the use of your land. And basically, it's like a step above serf. A serf is someone who had very limited freedoms. They weren't allowed to leave the land that they lived on without special permission. They weren't even allowed to sell the crops that they made. Basically, they would work on the farm that someone else owned and get to keep some of the grain so that they wouldn't starve to death. Whereas, like a freeholder, that meant I get to keep whatever I grow on the land belongs to me. I can then go sell it and then pay in taxes for the use of the land, as opposed to basically paying in labor and obligations. So, basically the medieval times, feudalism is a big pyramid scheme, right? You got the people at the top have almost no obligations, like almost total freedom. The lords of the land could do almost anything. And then underneath it, you have freeholders, yeomen, people with important positions, but, they're not nobility. I guess beneath the high nobles would be like hedge knights and that kind of thing. Like people who owned a horse and were obliged to go to war. They would be a noble class too. But then, it's like every time you go lower in the pyramid, you got worse and worse obligations that you owe people above you. So, like, serfs, literally it was horrible. If you want to bake the grain that you got, you had to, first you needed to make it into flour, right? So you had to give the miller, 20% of whatever grain that you were given. You weren't given much grain at all because most of it was just kind of porridge that you were handed in the morning by the actual owners of the land. And then there's all these awful little obligations, like moving up the chain of command. If you've got your flour from the miller and lost some of it, well, you also had to give some more to the church for the right to not be excommunicated. You had to give more to the Lord. Especially on special holidays, you had to make sure you had a nice present for the lord of the manor. It's crazy, all these weird obligations and stuff. So being a freeholder was definitely a big deal. And in Wiggles' backstory, he was a Franklin, right? He owned his own land. He worked really hard, and then the Black Death came, and it kind of drove him crazy. Because with the Black Death, all of his serfs died off. No one could farm the land, and all the hard work he put into earning his position meant nothing. And so he basically went feral and wandered out into the wilds and just started eating berries and gnawing on tree bark and stuff. I'm not making this up. This is literally what, if you read their background, how it describes it. It's just I can't hover over it in this screen. I don't want to go back because I don't want to reset, because it took me hours of just clicking to get these combos. Two of them are really good. This guy's alright, but I like him for the fun backstory. He's got a good culinary, which it's not the best skill, but you might need it. But he's got pretty high construction and a light passion for it, and that's the main thing I needed out of the third character. We got our farming, we've got our going out into the wilderness and hunting animals, and as well as a potentially good marksman. And then we have this guy who is just going to kind of hang out in town and build stuff. He might do some research because he does have that passion for intellectual. Yeah, this guy has much higher intellectual skill. I probably won't use him, though, for that, just because I like to have people follow their passions, the things with the stars on them, as opposed to the natural skills that they started with. because I think like they tended to do better, skill up faster and stuff in that case. Um, but yeah, she's gonna be doing her medicine and most of the like honestly, she's just gonna be in the fields planting constantly. He's gonna be building stuff, cooking stuff, and we might have to do research when the other thing like it's not gonna be his top priority though. We'll probably get someone along the way who's much better at research, has a passion for it. So like when that happens, he won't have to do it anymore. He's got some good melee too. I mean, I'm not gonna make him a dedicated like soldier or anything, but you know, I think this is pretty good, pretty good. So let's embark, see the situation now. Even though it's valley, I think it's gonna be a little mountainous because it was like it said it was valley, but man, it was like on a big mountain. So who knows? New life. The plague has ravaged the British Isles, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Untold millions went to an early grave, and those left standing were plunged into poverty, brutally scarred by the horrors that they had witnessed. Man, this kind of feels on the nose right now. Oh god. The last year, man. I've aged 10 years in 2020. So much stress, but hey, you know, we're getting through it. Vaccines are coming out. Science saves the day once again. Like, oh man. Anyway, of course, people are never give scientists credit. I swear. It's always either like some politicians trying to claim like, oh, our funding made the cure happen sooner. No, it didn't. It was freaking scientific development. The reason why we were able to roll out these cures as fast as possible was because the politicians got out of the way. Like, they cut the red tape that would normally delay these kind of things. Like, we've been working on RNA-based vaccinations for almost 10 years, but everyone's so scared of using stem cells for things. We're messing with nature. Like, come on. We're humans. It's what we do. Nature is what we decide, not like we don't have to go with whatever we're given. Like you know what I mean. Like invention is our greatest strength. We need to use it. We need to use technology, and we need to respect people behind that technology far more. Our society honestly should be run by scientists, not by some political class. But that's go watch the Technocracy thing if you want to learn a little bit more about that. Anyway, weird rant to have for a medieval game. Nothing would ever be the same again. In springtime of the year 1353, Wigulf, Hunric, and Jenner, I think it's pronounced Jenner, set off into the wilderness to claim a piece of the land as their own, as was their right, in the eyes of God and under the law. Here, they may lay down the foundations for some kind of future. Perhaps hope will follow. Good land is there for the taking. In all four corners of this once mighty land, citizens are rebuilding in the hope that the horrors of the past few years can be left behind. It's possible that there will be fighting, drought, sickness, hunger, but what of it? Life goes on, said Henrik, and so must we. I feel like Henrik is kind of the leader of our merry band. After many travails, they arrived in a valley with golden plains cut through by a snaking river. For Genier, it conjured visions of bountiful harvest, song, and wine, a place to put down roots, a homeland. They decided to title it Hexham. So yeah, like this is gonna be like a pagan run. Like we're all gonna be oak brethren, and I don't know if we'll even admit people who are restitutionists. By the way, like the restitutionists that I don't know about oak brethren, if that's actually a thing. It kind of seems druidy, and by this point in time, the druids were basically wiped out. There's still some folk religion going on that was pagan, but I mean, people weren't really building shrines to it anymore. It was more like, oh, be careful, the elves will get you if you don't give them poppy seeds, you know, that kind of thing. So, like, some pagan traditions were still surviving as village weirdness, you know, little village traditions, but for the most part, Christianity had kind of become the main religion by the 13th century. But yeah, the restitutionist was actually kind of a thing. It's not nearly as crazy as they portrayed it in this game, right? they portray it as a kind of okay. Well, we got pause. Oh, I do have the tutorial on because I'm a newbie. Wow, that's a cool bridge, man. I kind of want to build one of those. Please bear in mind, it's under heavy development. It's actually kind of nice. You got like a roadmap and everything you can look at in the game. So I'm sure that it's going to have bugs, unfinished systems. Yeah, they have like an almanac with tutorials and stuff. This is apparently an Eastern European team, which is kind of cool. So WASD to move camera around, mouse will zoom in and out. Num5 resets. I love that they have that because it's just like you really don't see many games thinking about that detail, but it's really nice if you ever get stuck in a weird position and want to return to the default. So that's a nice little like thing to have. Tilt and rotate, holding down the mouse. Okay, so yeah, we can hold the mouse down, and those are kind of basic controls, but why break the classics? I love that they have a little video here too. Like, these guys are doing a really seriously good job. I'm very impressed with this game for being in an alpha state. The art is simple but looks nice. You know, I like the little voxel art, if I'm being honest. It lets you put your own imagination behind things. You know, it's kind of like why RimWorld, the pawns are so effective, in my mind. And alternate controls, you can use arrow key. I can pan the down. They even have alternate controls for left and right hand people. That's nice. I am a lefty, but I kind of taught myself to play left-handed, but with right-handed controls. Sometimes it hurts my arm. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's one reason I kind of stopped playing. Like, I used to play a lot of like RTS, and the trouble is like they don't design the hotkeys in RTS for left-hand people. Like, I literally, the way I play is I'll have my left hand, like the index finger of my left hand will be on the Q key. And so, like, if I want to hit, like, a 0 or something, I have to, like, lean over and stretch my arm in a weird way. And it's no good, you know? But it's because I use my left hand for the mouse and my right hand for the actual hotkeys. But, yeah. Oh, this is something I did care about, though. Let's see. You can shuffle between layers and building floors. Use up or down layer buttons. Okay, so we can use these buttons. Control and mouse wheel. Okay. And, okay, these controls are important. Or I can use Z and X to go up and down. I might just use Z and X. That's a little more comfortable than trying to use control. I think we'll get more precision that way. I love these videos. This is something a lot of games just don't think about, like having little video showing you the actual key commands and what's happening. That's a very nice touch. Kudos to this team. I hope they do really well with this. I think they will. This game's kind of already exploding because, like I was saying earlier, like people have wanted a Dwarf Fortress that isn't like ASCII art for the longest time. And now this is offering it, but it's offering it with like actual 3D models and animation and stuff. That is one thing I'm curious about. I want to see what Dwarf Fortress on Steam looks like. If the controls are like normal and not like bonkers weird, like if they actually have menus and stuff, I might try to play that when it eventually hits, you know, release version. I love Dwarf Fortress like stories and stuff. It's really cool how much you can do in that game, but oh god, the controls. Like, I tried it. I really did try to play Dwarf Fortress, and I got about, I'd say, an hour into it, and so, like, as awesome and cool as this whole game is, because it's really crazy, the kind of emergent behavior that can happen with Dwarf Fortress. Really, really cool stuff. But, man, I got tired of every 20 seconds having to, like, re-look at a book. Like, I had printed out the control scheme. And, like, the other thing about it, like, if you actually want to play the game in the original artwork, where it's just different symbols, I don't know. It's a decision. It's a choice you can make, but I don't know if I love that choice. Let's see. Speed up time. Okay, you can use 1, 2, 3 space for pause. Okay, very standard stuff. Nice. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Oh, right, I have to hold down the thing. I was trying to pan. by hovering. I wonder if that's an option. Let's check. Options. Maybe under game. I'm looking for pan mouse. Here we go. Screen edge mouse scroll. Perfect. Yeah, we'll leave. See, I grew up with Fahrenheit, but I'm trying to adjust to Celsius. They both, like, people poo-poo Fahrenheit, but it actually makes sense in a wacky way. So the way I see it is Celsius is the temperature range that you would normally encounter on the surface of the Earth. It can get colder, but it can't really get hotter. Than from 0 to 100 degrees is kind of the standard temperature range, at least in Northern Europe, where the Celsius system was invented, right? Because, you can go below 0 degrees Celsius, of course, but not everywhere on the planet. Typically 0 to, 90. Well, no, God, 90 degrees Celsius is... No, it never gets nearly that. I guess they just based on water then. Anyway, I was gonna say with Fahrenheit, the Fahrenheit system. Okay, I was confusing. Fahrenheit is based on your everyday experience. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is gonna be very cold for a human, and 100 degrees Fahrenheit is gonna be very hot. So 0 to 100 Fahrenheit. It makes sense in the same way that using feet as a unit of measure kind of makes sense because your foot is generally speaking close to a foot long. Obviously, people vary. It's not precise, but generally speaking, most feet are about 1 foot long. So, it makes... And like a stone is, it's about the weight of an average sized rock that a person can pick up. It's like a stone, right? So, those kind of measurements make some sense, but at the same time, they lack precision and they lack the ability to easily convert between units, which is frustrating and ultimately not great if you want to do actual physics, math problems involving them. The meter's metric system is so much better for that because it's just powers of 10. Even though a meter is not a typical measurement really that you'd be familiar with. I can't remember the definition of the official definition of a meter anymore. It was something like the distance that a proton of, I think, cesium will travel before it is most likely to undergo spontaneous nuclear decay. It's something bonkers like that, and you're like, what? How they came up with the actual measurement of a meter doesn't make much sense. Now the volume system makes a little bit more sense, and so does the weight system because you can basically say with a square cube of, I think it's a square meter of water is equivalent to 100 kilograms or something. I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Anyway, so yeah, we got our camera set up. That sounds good to me. Okay, resume. Okay, that is a little fast. Sorry I'm doing all these adjustments right out the gate. I'm sure you want to see actual gameplay, but this shows you, sometimes I feel like they ought to show camera sensitivity. Let's reduce that to about 1/4. See how it goes now. Still pretty fast. It's not so bad when you're zoomed out. I might lower it even further. So let's take a look at our map, huh? I see. So it goes slower when you are zoomed out. Well, I did expect to be pretty flat, but there's no defending this place. If we get attacked, they're coming from all directions. There's no kind of mountains to have at your back or anything, which is all right. We'll just make a big forest fort, I guess. Which means chopping down trees and all that. Let's see. So, can we actually... Yeah, now you can actually see their backgrounds. We could read them. They're... Henrik had a really weird one. um, actually, let's read Heinrich's. Heinrich is that very like troubled, disfigured man. He likes to eat though. He's got an appetite, and he loves the cold. So this is our hunter. The pen is better than the sword, and Henrik had certainly reveled in a little power. Called upon to wield his quill by merchants and gentry, Henrik recorded their contracts, their laws, and their deaths in Litera Antiqua with a flourish. In the wake of death and terror, Henrik acquired a cap marked with a red cross. It was a memento of months spent marching naked, one behind the other. Each whipped their naked, bleeding bodies with scourges spiked with nails. God is merciful, God is just, they wept. Yeah, so that was the flagellants, which was an actual thing. Like, basically, they believed that God was sending the plague to punish mankind, and so if they punished themselves, maybe God would be essentially like if I was explaining this like to a modern audience, I would say that people were so like freaked out by the trauma of the Black Death that they went crazy and just started hitting themselves because they couldn't figure out any other way to like deal with it. But yeah, like flagellants were definitely a thing. I don't know if they actually used whips with nails on them. I heard it was mostly like boards of wood, like with studs, kind of like the little like BDSM thing that you sometimes see, like in those old movies with fraternities, where like now you must be punished in order to become part of the fraternity, and then they like do all that nonsense. I don't know where. This is just like literally like me saying whatever. Yeah, face the punishment. Anyway, oh god. I've been watching a lot of Star versus the Forces of Evil, and I love the stupid voices they give the monsters. So I was trying to emulate that a bit. Anyway, Wigwolf is our soothsaying Franklin. So this guy basically, I already talked about Wigwolf, but basically, yeah, he was a happy little Franklin. He had his own farm, and like he was just so like set for life. Once you're a freeholder, that's a big deal. That basically means that you are part of the very beginning of like people who actually mattered in medieval society. Like if you were a freeholder and a noble like tried to rape your daughter, there would be a trial. Like that wasn't okay. But if you're a serf and that happened, well, he was just a serf. You know, he's my property. I can do whatever I want with his daughter. Whereas if you were a freeholder, that wouldn't fly. You were protected by the law, even from nobles. Now, obviously, the rules would be bent, and typically, in that kind of situation, the noble would just be like, "Okay, here's some money, whatever. Now shut up and go away." Like it's really not that different from our time with billionaires, but yeah, But anyway, yeah, so when the world changed, he lived by the lure of oak, ash, and thorn. So basically, he went mad. His farm, they worked so hard all his life to build up, failed. And so he wandered down the woods one day and became one with the trees. So here he is, age 43, starting over in this weird little town of Haxham. And then the Jenner? I think it's Jenner. Jenner sounds right. So Jenner Hook, she now this one like, it's funny because she's gonna be our farmer and like berry picker and mushroom hunter and healing woman, but so like her background story is so weird. It's basically like she made armor for people. But then she had become like a wandering sideshow character. This really reminds me of, if you've ever played, I guarantee most people watching this are just too young, but there is a fantastic game I loved as a child called Arcanum of Steamworks and Magica Obscura. And the character backgrounds that you could get in that were insane. One of them was like, oh, you were a poisonous snake handler. So poison doesn't mess with you, but you look hideously ugly from the scars. Like they had one, you ran away to join the circus, where you learn how to throw knives, and so you're better at throwing. But you never learned how to like take care of yourself because you were a circus performer. So you're terrible at haggling and getting by in the world. Always like weird stuff. It was made by the same original team that made the Fallout games. So let's see. On click. Okay. So I don't think anybody here. If I go to see, I've never played the game, so I'm gonna be like a little lost initially, but we'll try to get through it. I don't think anyone has a proper. You have enough marksmanship to actually use the longbow. I'm going to start you off with it, but you are not going to keep it. Keep it? Keep it. Because you actually have enough skill to use it. You will give it to my dude right here, Heinrich, once he levels up enough, but he'll get this short bow. Okay, and you like melee, so what's our best melee thing? Is it sword? Or is it wooden spear? Low building damage, moderate armor, armor and shield. I'm not sure. I guess the melee dude will use a sturdy bow. And then we have like a sword and shield and some armor. Can I like shift, right click and add that? Probably. Alright, what else do we need to do? I guess we need to build a shelter. So maybe base. Yeah. Well, I did want to do. Yeah, we're gonna need all this. But I'm looking for a stockpile. Because I want to like set up a little stockpile. Is this it? Zone? Default stockpile, of course. Okay. So where do we want to build? You know me in decision making. Always goes over well. Part of me kind of wants to make use of this ramp system here. Like we got like a weird little valley and stuff. It might be like a decent place because at least that way we'd be a little bit defended on one side. I think I'll queue it up to actually be kind of in the middle here. Let's see. Leisure, job schedule, manage. Let's see. Use the manage tool to determine which items settlers will auto-equip, what food and alcohol they're allowed to consume. Okay. So this is like undrafted stance at flee. Yeah, I don't really like. I'm gonna allow everything for now. I'll probably change that later. Region. Oh, that's kind of cool. They actually have a little region thing. So friendly settlements. And wow, a lot of there's forest bandits there. There's some progeny, often Woking and Meth World. Oh god, this must be Minnesota, right? Bum 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 bum. Beer. No, I just like. I mean, realistically, it's a problem all around the United States, but there was a lot of meth in like Fargo and stuff. So, how do I get out of region? Okay, there. I'm wondering how do I allow and forbid on mass scale because I'm not seeing here. So allow, hunt, mine, harvest, chop. Okay. So I want to. I see. We got like lumps of clay and stuff that we can just like have. That's kind of fun. All right, let's clear these trees because. Sorry, I had to scratch. Cut plants. I think. Let's see. B. Let's harvest these delicious mushrooms. And let's. Oh, can I just drag it? Sure. Get out there and harvest some mushrooms. And H for chopping. Clear some trees. And now for stockpile. For now, I'm just gonna make a stockpile on top of the actual things that we have lying around. But that will obviously need to be changed. We're gonna build a proper storehouse in a minute. Let's see, will they actually equip their things? Yes. No, he didn't queue up. Okay. You can go equip the sturdy spear. Yeah, there you go. And now they'll go and gather the shrooms and stuff. I should probably non-manage. Oops. Oh, I kind of want to see that tutorial. Okay, so this is schedule. Sure. Manage resource. Schedule is work, sleep. No one has anything weird with, like, I haven't set it up for them to have just weird, like, day, night. No one is a night owl or needs daylight. So, okay. Tutorial jobs. This is just like RimWorld. Same deal. But yeah, like, I'm really looking forward to, quote unquote, a medieval version of RimWorld, but personally, I was really hoping for, well, basically Dwarf Fortress, but a Dwarf Fortress that I could play without having no idea what's going on. And this is close to it. That's why I'm giving it a go. But I would love something like this that is actually like fantasy based. I love medieval. There's two settings I just absolutely love: medieval fantasy and how would I explain it? So I guess science fantasy, like it's science fiction but light, very soft science fiction. Don't get me wrong, I love hard science fiction too. I love all science fiction, but you know, I grew up reading like a lot of you know, stuff like Ray Bradbury. Who wrote Tarzan? Was Tarzan Bradbury? Hold on. Tarzan. Oh, Edgar Rice Burroughs. Yeah. So I read a ton of Edgar Rice Burroughs as a kid. And you all might be saying, like, well, what does Tarzan have to do with science fiction? Well, he also wrote the Barsoom types, the series set on Mars that was honestly very Star Warsy, but long before Star Wars actually existed. I forget, it was called like A Princess of Mars is the first in the series. I forget, it's not the Martian Chronicles, that's Ray Bradbury. But the first book in the Burroughs series I'm thinking of is A Princess of Mars. It's very old school. None of the science makes any sense at all. Like, they use a magic color to power their technology. It's called the eighth ray. You know, because there are 7 rays in a rainbow, and then, like, the one beyond what humans can see is the source of, like, all the power. On a... Like, it's an old-timey way to say radiation. Like, it was, like... They hadn't really named like X-rays yet, and so they just called it the eighth ray and all that. Because Edgar Rice Burroughs was like writing right at the very beginning of modern physics, so he's just making up stuff. But it's fantastic and fun, and it's like it's very much it's really dated in terms of, oh, you know, it's like the hero from another land helps the uncouth savages to become civilized, and then his reward is he gets to marry the beautiful princess, and you know, it's like very much that stuff. But these adventure stories I grew up with, you know, like I get that they're old fashioned now, but I don't know, they're still entertaining. Like Tarzan's great. Pellucidar is his other one. Pellucidar is basically the exact same idea as the Princess of Mars series, except instead of it being on Mars, it's inside of the hollow Earth with dinosaurs. So, yeah, Burroughs wrote way more than just Tarzan. Let's see. So, increase, decrease. Yeah, it basically works just like RimWorld. Now, some of these people got passions. So, they need to have higher priority for their passions so they will skill up in them. And some people don't got passions. So, they need to be less Is there any way I can decrease, increase all? Priority 1 is done, priority 5 is done last. Yeah. I'm trying to actually see what their actual skill levels are instead of just, I guess I have to individually look at them. So this guy, Wigloof, you are amazing at mining. That should probably be a higher priority for you. And you know what? I think I'm going to just increase priority for their passions and also construction. Convalescence should be tip-top priority. And tend, I'll make that like a 1 for you and a 2 for the others. Okay, hunting. This guy I want you to hunt a lot. So I'm also gonna rank this up a bit. So carpentry is not building buildings, apparently. It's woodworking, it's making small handheld things. So, you know, it's kind of good to know. Let's see. Yeah, you can have higher priority cooking. I might... make him our dedicated cook. And you are definitely our dedicated cut plant lady. And our dedicated grow lady. Dedicated harvest lady. I want you to hunt more than doing anything else. That's why you've been put on Earth. And then, let's see. Yeah, I put you on 110 and them on 2, because if she gets injured, I want these guys to at least have some kind of priority saying, oh, let's go help her. But convalescence, like, you know, sleeping it off is definitely top priority for some. These guys, I guess I'll leave it on like 3, but I might eventually do 1 to 5 instead to get more. I'll increase your priority for construct a little bit higher because you've got passion for it. And I guess research as well. I probably want you mostly cooking and construction, if anything. So I'm going to put those as your 2 highest priorities with Goof. I think it would be a Weegloo. Pine. Because this is almost like an I sound, so pine. Anyway. I'm trying to remember how my Middle English is supposed to go, and I know I'm going to be super embarrassed when I get it wrong, but, you know, whatever. So let's, we got them all scurrying around, doing stuff, we got the priorities set. Let's set up a little building, and I'm actually going to call it, because I looked at the time. I spent so much time on, like, random nonsense that there's been, like, 0 time to actually, like... play the game. So let's see. I want just a small, like, maybe a longhouse situation, right? Oh, can I drag it? Yeah, I can drag it, okay. And then it would go in a little bit more, maybe, but I'm just going to be a little shack for now. Because you want to get your crops out of... So they need to be on, like, a wood floor. This game, the preservation system is based on flooring. So it's very important to, like, actually get that floor. I'm going to put the door on the bottom, even though, like... I don't know if that's... Well, there's going to be doing a lot of wood chopping at the very beginning. Windows you actually kind of need because they provide light inside of the place during the day. And then we'll put in a little simple... Oh... No, I don't want to prioritize construction. I hate the way that looks. I messed it up. I want to cancel it. Okay. Let's try that again. It's all about my base. Okay. Click and drag. Click and I did click and drag. Okay. R and F to rotate. Okay. Now those are kind of awkward, but I think that is what I want. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, cool. And so they'll get that built and keep our supplies safe. And I'm gonna let them finish that. And I might actually call this the first episode. It took me forever, like to. I don't know. I feel a little guilty calling it the first episode already, but I'm looking at the time. It's like, I know I recorded like 15 minutes, and now I've recorded like at least another hour. I think it's going to be a super long episode, even though we made very little progress. It's mostly, I got excited about talking about the... Okay, so Wiggoof is the guy we want doing construction, right? Yes. Good. Because he's going to level up much faster. So far, our management system is pretty good. He still sucks at things, but... Now, Heinrich, I would rather you hunt. But if we're going to hunt, I think that does mean we need... Well, we definitely need a campfire. So we'll just put it kind of out here. And we'll need a butchering table, which I guess I'll put... I'm not sure if you should put it outside, but I'm gonna put it outside. We'll eventually have like a nice decade butchery, but for now, the other thing is I need to. Oh, what was the? Was it Z and X to go up and down? Hold on. Control plus mouse wheel. Oh, it's Shift Z. Z. I'm hitting Z. Control mouse wheel. Control mouse wheel. Okay. Took it a little bit of time. I want to allow these supplies so they actually, like, you know, use the things. So, allow that. Allow that. Allow that. And that. And all this. Should I just, like, allow the whole map? I'm thinking I will. Because there's a lot of little goodies just lying around. Oh, I hope this doesn't break the game. It's a fairly big map, and they haven't even added, like, all the, Oh, no, we didn't have a river. I'm under... Yeah, I'm underground, because I hit control. Okay, cool. And the other thing I want to do is get hunting, because I think it'd be nice to get some hides and to level up the... Alright, so hunt is M. So I'll hunt that deer. That rabbit. And that one too. Delicious conies. Some conies, some venison. Gonna be so good. Venison done right is delicious. But I've never had rabbit. I know that some people... there are a few animals I'm surprised that I've never had. Because I've had weird stuff, man. Like, straight up. Oh, let's watch Henrik be like a bowmaster. Do you see that? He's so freaking good. Bam! Come on, Heinrich. Oh. How damaged is it? It's regenerating. Heinrich. Come on, buddy. You're never going to get that longbow if you're hunting like that. Oh, wait, it's walking towards us. We're downwind of it. Well, you know what? This is fine. Wait, is she helping too? Why are... Oh. I think she's helping because there's literally... I didn't assign any berry picking. So let's do that. Yeah, I don't want her hunting. That's Heinrich's job. She's stealing Heinrich's thunder. Let's get a bunch of hay. And a bunch of shrooms and other delicious stuff. Okay, so the way I know in RimWorld would be you draft, and then you undraft, and then they reset their job. Boom. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking they probably, like, glance at RimWorld's code. I mean, maybe not. Like, and I mean, if they did, that's fine. Like, I think that this game is it feels very different from RimWorld in some ways. Like, obviously, a big difference in art. But also in like what they're emphasizing. This one seems to be more about building a little town and seeing it prosper, whereas, oh nice, she's already leveled up. And Wigwolf is doing real well too, because he's constructing like a fiend. Hey, Bun. Hey, buddy. Don't scratch my table. Ugh. Well, like I said, I think this is going pretty. Oh no, down! Ow! Come on, don't scratch me, dumb. I'm actually. I'm basically wearing my pajamas, and my dog, well, not my dog, my freaking cat, just like tried to climb up me, scratching me up my whole leg. I love her, but my god, what a pest. What a little pest. Wiggolf is loving this. Oh, I do need to get... There's another room I need to get. Or not room so much as thing. It's very important. No, not leisure furniture. Hay sleeping spots. They're gonna get... They're gonna get very, very sleepy when night comes, and I want to make sure that they can sleep on the floor in a big pile of grass like animals. So... Don't fail construction. He's got a ton of construction XP. That's good. He's got a big passion for it, so... Nobody's butchered the, that carcass, huh? God, look at Jenny. Jenner. I think her name's Jenner. Hopefully they can all actually access these. Good, we're getting the beds done. Is he already maxed out? Or I thought it went up to like level 30, but he only has 10 skill. Oh, that's just the progress bar. I see. Well, that's nice. Now, the one we really care about is Heinrich getting his marksman to 10. Because at that point, he'll take the longbow, and Jenny will just like take the short bow. Okay, good. We have a sleeping spot. They won't be absolutely miserable if night falls. You see? Heinrich, you are doing really well, man. In fact, you're doing so well, I'm gonna reward you with more hunting. Bring me deer. Now, I'm trying not to queue up hunting on, like, every single creature across the land, because I think that would be, like, kind of a big ask. But getting a couple of these deer and, like, a couple of little rabbits, that'd be kind of nice. I'm hoping I ought to look over their roadmap because I'm really hoping to see like a whole bunch of different animals, like maybe some kind of like it we they already stated though they're not going to allow like kids to be born because they felt like it. I mean, fair enough. Like the explanation did make sense. They basically said, yeah, like we don't want children in the game because then we'll feel like we can't have stuff like cannibalism because some countries basically don't want to see children getting harmed, even for fun. Which I mean, fair enough. That's more of a business decision, I think, than anything else. And then I like that then their little like dev diary answering that question. They're just straight up honest about it. They said, yeah, look, what do you really want from us? Like we have some pretty like nasty things happen to our villagers. We won't really be able to get away with. Man, it's dusty here. I think it's just this guy making all this like dust. I am going on slow speed. We could speed it up, but I don't know. It feels pretty fast even at slower speed. I mean, if you drop me in the woods, I won't be able to build a building this big in under a day. Like that's just nuts. Wiggolf is flying. Okay, so my cat found a bag to jump around in now. Oh yeah. Oh, that rabbit's trying to get away from Deadly Hunter Henrik. Oh my God, what is going on back there? Quit it! Knocking everything over. Yeah, she's probably hungry. I'll tell you what, y'all. I wanted to see like let's get through the first day, and then I'll deal with my cat being kind of a pest. I guess one thing that would be nice, like yeah, you can scroll up and down, but it would be kind of nice if they included a. I think he's gonna finish the actual house, which would be kind of nice to see. But I would like the. I forget the cutaway system where if your camera's over it, the outline of the building just kind of goes away, I guess. Oh, another deer thinks it can escape, but it can't. None can escape Henrik's skills. Does he have the marksmanship? Almost there, man. Almost there. I think he has to be 10 or above. Hey, nice. I built my first room. I hope you saw achievement unlocked. Getting some cheeves, y'all. So we got our first little house made. How lovely. With like door. I love the art. It reminds me of Shopkeep. Which is a good thing. Shopkeep's very goofy, but like I don't know. Would I call Shopkeep a full game? It's more like a mobile game than anything else. But man, the little voxel art was just really nice. So this is called voxel art. It's when you don't have much texture, and most of the art comes just from the straight shape of the models. It's based on like. Basically, voxels, it's a term for like in 3D modeling, designating like a 3D point in space. So yeah, like at least I think that's what it means. I speak with authority, and now I'm like, as I was, you know, when you're saying something and then you're like, is that actually true? Oh God, I'm committed to it. I have to keep saying it. I don't know if it's right though. Oh God, like that definitely it can happen. Oh my gosh, like it sounds like I have a peacock. Okay, that was our first autosave. So I think my cat is losing her freaking mind. She probably wants some grub. I'm gonna go give it to her and call this an episode. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, this has been Going Medieval. I'm pretty excited about it. Well, I don't know if we're going to do a full series of it just yet. Because it's in early access. And I don't know if they have like an end to the story. But we'll play a couple hours of it, see what it's like. Try to get. I think our end game goal is to get like a little tower in the woods. Like not a full castle because there's not enough stone, but like a little tower that protects our heathen village from the evil revisionists, zealous and angry revisionists. Anyway, on that note, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and this has been Going Medieval. Cheers.